audience, and welcome to another edition of the Big Fish Podcast Show. My name is Brian Bowman, and I'm the host, and today I'm going to be speaking with Vincent Gomari, who is a career coach with us here on the LocalJobs.com career marketing platform. And Vincent has been in the personal career assessment, career coaching industry now since about 2003, so he brings a lot of experience to the table. And Vincent has a lot of specialization in the area of helping coders and programmers and those in kind of the data analytic IT side of things. So I wanted to interview him today because I felt that for those of you that are in that career path, he might be able to point to some of the idiosyncrasies, some of the common issues that folks in your path face difficulty-wise, and maybe give you at the same time a couple of nuggets of helpful advice along the way. So Vincent, welcome today.
Hi, how are you, Brian?
Good, good. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your time.
Sure.
So Vincent, on the platform we're dealing with, on the coaching platform, I should say, we have a lot of candidates from a variety of different industries and specializations. And some coaches are a little bit more generic than others. They're not necessarily focused on any one industry. And I know you help folks from multiple industries as well, but I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what you feel is a bit of your specialization. Maybe give kind of if you can, the 60-second flyover, a little bit about yourself, would you?
Sure. As you said, I've been a coach principally since 2003. Before that, I had a career as a business analyst in IT. I focused on software documentation, process management, and RFP development as a few of the things. And I worked in Fortune 50 and startup companies, including outsourcing. I know how software development teams work, and I know how they succeed. I also understand how the organizational behavior works in IT between coders, testers, quality assurance people, and product managers. So I can provide extra insight into your career path if you are in an IT specialty, if you're looking to continue, or if you're looking to transition into IT and need to know what it's all about.
Gotcha. Okay. And you're presently a coach also with the Flatiron School, which, as I understand it, is a boot camp organization. So you're getting folks that are coming out of there and pretty much walking them through that process of moving from completed with a certification into actually prepping them and maybe helping them get placed. Is that right?
That's correct. And I work with several different types of students, usually students in the software development realm or younger and are looking for their first job. But I also focus on data science. In fact, about 80% of my students are graduates from the Flatiron Data Science program. Many of these people have experience either in data or other fields and are looking to make a transition. So I spend most of my time helping them figure out the landscape and what the best and most effective strategy and tactics would be to make that transition.
So you're saying that a number of the folks you're dealing with would you say you tend to get more new students? I mean, are they fresh out of college and then went into a boot camp, or they went really maybe even from high school and decided to specialize in coding and went into the boot camp side of things? But is that the large portion of the segment that you work with right now?
Actually, right now it's the smaller portion, okay. But I would define people more granularly as I have, in the data science program, I have many students who are older and may have, I would say, Bachelor of Science degrees in math and economics, one or the other or both. In the software engineering field, I have younger students who may have liberal arts degrees or some science degrees and have decided that coding is exciting for them and they'd like to learn about it and they'd like to pursue that as their first career.
Gotcha. So just, boy, we hear so much about STEM jobs today, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. I have to think that the students that are graduating with those kind of certifications, you're not having too much of a difficulty getting them placed, are you?
We, the market is very competitive. Uh, there are many talented people, and there are many people who, as I said, are switching careers.
Okay.
And the market, because of COVID and because companies have not been hiring as much as they used to hire, is a little bit more competitive.
Interesting.
But we have a very good placement rate at Flatiron, and we are doing very well. And the students who really focus on their networking and on their strategy and tactics to get into these fields and meet the right people are doing very well.
So you're not really having to help them with assessment and figuring out whether or not coding and data science is kind of their area. You're people that are coming, you've already made that decision. What is the big what's the biggest challenge that you've seen out there with regards to, say, people that are kind of new at this? This is a new job for them versus those that are maybe making a career change. What would you say is the difference in those two?
One difference is the size of their network. Most people who are starting out have a small network. They need to do much more work to build that network of contacts where they can start to burrow into companies and get Zoom meetings and interviews. Many of the data science people with previous experience have their networks set. They are also able to network more effectively because they're used to doing this. Mm-hmm. And they seem to get into the interview and Zoom meeting stage much faster.
Yeah, I mean that speaks to the importance of networking. No matter what industry you're in, right?
That's right. That's right.
So as a coach, where do you find is kind of your sweet spot? I mean, we interview coaches and have a number of them here on the Local Jobs career platform. So some like to get into the assessment and helping somebody determine their path. Some like to focus on development of the resume and the LinkedIn profile and the networking strategy. Others like to focus, say, on interviewing and coaching them, mentoring them through the interview process. Do you have a sweet spot of services that you perform?
I would say networking and interviewing are the two things that stand out right now as where I spend most of my emphasis. But I think my real ability to add value comes from the fact that I understand the IT industry very well, where people fit, how they match up with positions and functions, and the type of strategy and tactics they should employ to obtain these positions. So yes, I am really not on the discovery side, which is the beginning. Mm-hmm. Closer to the end, the middle to the end is where I really shine.
Okay. So back to the question, is there maybe this is my own thinking, but I think of coders and these people back in a back room just, nonstop doing this. And I don't think of them as overly collaborative or communicative. Is that an accurate assessment, or would you say that that's changed? Is that persona changed, and is it pretty much needed that they change?
There's no question that it's changed. The value and importance of communication, a la organizational behavior effectiveness, the ability to interrelate to other groups, to understand how the business line evaluates tech, to understand how product managers think. This is crucial. And so, yes, the price of admission is you need to know how to code. You need to understand the technical part. But it's becoming more and more apparent that the people who succeed have strong communication skills.
Well said. I like that part about the coding as your foot in the door. That gets you in the door, and you can you got to get in the door, but you have to do beyond that coding just to be successful. So, as we look at, you mentioned COVID earlier, and you talked about some of the changes that go on in the marketplace. Are you finding that companies are adapting? Are we seeing that they're enabling coders and people in the IT space to work from home more? Do you see that as kind of a longer term trend, or are we going to have to get back into the cubicles and into the office environments from the IT perspective that we had pre-COVID?
I think the work from home market is a strong trend. I think it will continue for a couple of reasons. First reason is that work in IT is distributed by nature. The second reason is that it is very expensive for companies to retain these spaces.
Yeah.
Especially where I am in New York. It's a nice thing to do, but it's very expensive to retain office space. So at the minimum, what we'll see, I think, is a pivot from work from home to tech farms or industrial park type places where people share space, which has already been a big move, but I think it will be bigger. I don't see, except for Fortune 50, I don't see a big move back to the office.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. And if you look at the valuations of companies like Microsoft and Zoom and those in the IT space that are providing these Zoom type meetings, I actually happen to own a little Zoom stock, so I'm kind of happy with what's been going on that regard. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that's probably going to be a long-term trend. Okay, so folks, just so you know, Vincent is a coach on our platform. I will put a little memo at the end of this, but you can find him at advice.localjobs.com under the career coaching section. Vince, any kind of parting information you want to leave to candidates as they embark on this, this IT coding type career change or new career? Kind of what's the biggest thing you could probably share with them that would be a good takeaway today?
One of the most important things is to understand something about job analysis. Many times people look at job titles and they think that those jobs are for them. And in many cases, they're not. I'll give you a case in point. Many job titles are called data analyst or data scientist. And when you dig down into the details, into the top requirements, you find that the first two words in the job description are Excel and Tableau. Those are not data science tools. Those are data analyst tools on the lower level. So if you are looking at data science, please don't look at titles, look at tech skills required. Make sure it says Python and scitech-learn and Nambies. Make sure it says Pandas. Make sure it says the tools literally in the job description that you have been taught and that you want to work with. It's very important to read the job description and understand how that works. I've written a couple of articles on that I can share with clients. The second thing I would say is get to learn how to use ONET Online, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics job classification system, and read the job descriptions the government has created. You will learn an incredible amount about what you are expected to learn as a data analyst.
Vincent, that's some great info. And in fact, if you wouldn't mind sending me the links on that, I'll make sure that the viewers can see that in the description section of the video where possible, especially on our YouTube channel. Be easy to right out to there from there. So good information, good information. So folks, I would suggest if you are pursuing that data science, data analytics, IT type role, and as you look at our available coaches, give Vincent's profile a good look over. I know that he would be happy to work with you. He has a number of services that he's signed up with us on to be able to help you out. And so I encourage you again to visit us at the website to find jobs. Search jobs is LocalJobs.com, and you'll find a coaching link up in the navigation menu. So Vincent, thank you so much again for spending time with us today. And
Brian, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. Okay, we will talk with you again soon. And thank you for listening to another edition of the Big Fish Podcast Show. Take care. Bye-bye.